Vince Shaw here again. I have some current events to talk about here that a lot of you are going to find troubling, and they're all related and they all have a common theme. Now, if you don't think this stuff goes on, we got one here that says Florida school resource officer was arrested, who arrested two 6-year-old students, has been fired, according to the Orlando Police Department. Okay, after reviewing facts of the case, you know, they said they had no other remedy but to terminate Officer Dennis Turner. So when we first learned about this, we were all appalled, they said at a press conference. He said he could not fathom the idea of putting a scared child in the back of a police car. I don't think that's as, I think a lot of police forces wouldn't have a problem with that. But it goes on, it says the officer of the Orlando Police Department handcuffed 6-year-old Katya Roll and transported her to the Juvenile Assessment Center in Orlando, Florida. Early Monday, the Florida State Attorney said it was not going to press any charges. But it says the grandmother of the 6-year-old said her granddaughter was arrested after she kicked a staff member while having a temper tantrum on September 19th at school. Well, what the hell? Isn't that felony assault and battery? My goodness, why can't they charge her with that? The way this system works, it'd be a dead bang slam dunk. And with the attorneys you're going to get who like Star Wars, this ain't going to do a damn thing. See ya. Get you in maximum security at the Florida State Penal Institution, wherever the hell that is. Maybe it's all right next to Ted Turner. Or Ted, what's his name? The murderer.
Burton Bundy.
Yeah, Ted Bundy. Gets you there right next to good old Ted Bundy. Jeez. Florida resource officer has been fired and faces an investigation after video surfaced on social media showing him yanking a middle school student by her hair. Following outrage, the Orange County Sheriff's Office released body cam footage of the incident, which showed that the officer, in responding to a fight that broke out between students in school, it shows one deputy holding a girl against the trunk of a car and with her arms held behind her back. The officer, who is white, then grabs the girl, who is black, civil rights, by a hair scarf, pulling her head back and saying, "You're the one that started all this shit, and I'm tired of it." Florida school resource officer arrested after video shows him slamming 15-year-old girl to the ground. He then drags the girl to the police car, puts her in the back of the seat. The girl was briefly detained before being released to a parent. North Carolina deputy fired for body slamming boy at school. Sheriff deputy caught on security video twice body slamming a child under the age of 12 in a North Carolina middle school was fired on Monday morning, and state investigators are deciding on whether to file criminal charges against him. Now, you think they wouldn't have filed charges against this 12-year-old kid if he would have body slammed this deputy? Give me a break here. Yeah, it goes on. Deputy's termination is effective immediately, the sheriff said. We're not going to tolerate this behavior. The disturbing incident occurred on a Thursday at Vance County Middle School. When we first saw the video, we were shocked, the sheriff said. I didn't expect my deputy or any deputy or law enforcement in North Carolina to carry out their duties in this way. But isn't that how you train them, Sheriff? What are they supposed to do if they can't distinguish 10-year-old kids from corporate entities? Damn. In the school surveillance video, the deputy, a school resource officer, is seen walking with the child down a hallway when suddenly he lunges at the boy, lifts him off the ground, and slams him to the floor on his back. Without checking the child for injuries, the deputy picks him up again and throws him to the floor a second time and drags him down the hall and out of the view of the camera, according to the footage. This is what they're doing to our kids? Damn. And the common theme that we have here is this all goes back to the good old 14th Amendment. You all just know how I love that amendment. But, the thing is that people are not taught any longer that there are people that they're dealing with. They all think we're artificial corporate entities, that we have no life, that we have no rights, and it doesn't matter even if you're a kid. And that's the important point that we need to stop, whether it's a 6-year-old kid here or whether it's somebody walking down the street. Like I have a situation here right down the street from where I had my infamous jaywalking arrest. The guy got arrested, the Eric Garner type, big heavy-set black guy. 4 of them set on him, hit him with belly sticks, tased him 7 times. He died of a heart attack. This is the same kind of philosophy they're invoking here. That's saying artificial corporation and no rights. That's exactly opposite what the framers of our Constitution did and establishing a system that recognized for the first time man's right to life, liberty, and property, and that his life was not a means to a government end, it was a means to an end in itself, his happiness. That's how come we became the greatest nation in history in about 125 years, on that philosophy. It's no longer in effect anymore, but it needs to be put back in effect. And by the way, I got a lot of this from Ayn Rand, who I studied immediately prior to my getting involved in this decades long crusade, and probably that studying her work has led to what I'm doing now. It's the philosophical differences. Once you understand that perspective on what they think and how they're taught, that explains a great deal of what goes on today. And for example, with the IRS, they think, well, you're a taxpayer, artificial corporate entity, we can tax your ass out of existence according to the Supreme Court without even a need for an administrative hearing, let alone getting before a common law jury. Government owns you, lock, stock, and barrel. You're a slave. What happened with the 14th Amendment was they made us all equal, not by elevating the freedmen to our level, which couldn't be done the way they were attempting to do it, but by reducing us to theirs. We're all slaves now. That's all they recognize. Whether they realize it or not isn't our problem at the moment. But that's the way it is. That amendment did nothing but create artificial corporate citizenship. And I got the proof of that. Send me information, youwinnincourt at gmail.com. I'll send you information on my documents, how to get that, and learn the truth. So that'd be a big change in your position too, and hopefully we'll start the process of giving you a lot of self-esteem, which is certainly done with me. I didn't have it early on in life either for various reasons. But when I got into this situation in 1983, found myself in jail on St. Valentine's Day weekend, the Latter-day St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So stupid I couldn't figure out that I thought jails were only for bad people. How the hell did I get in here? Well, fortunately, people, I figured it out, and I'm going to help you to figure it out and keep your ass out of these jails. There's no way you belong in there, not the way the system is currently running. So yeah, all the stuff that goes on with kids. And by the way, this also figures into a lot of the gun violence these days for the same philosophical reason, because the shooters, whether they're CIA, trainees or what have you, there's simply no recognition that they're people that you're killing. It's not there. May as well be two-dimensional. In fact, I'm just looking at some interesting things I'm not going to discuss now, but I saw on TV, my friend had them on the video, with metaphysics. And some of these metaphysics people were claiming that actually we might be nothing more, the whole universe, nothing more than a hologram, on God's wrist or hand or what have you, the two-dimensional hologram. That's all we are in existence. And if that's a case, if that's true, that's a hell of a defense for any charge of murdering somebody. How can you murder a two-dimensional object? Can't be done. If that's really where we are, and there is some logic behind that, by the way. It gets into Einstein and Newton and physicists like that. It's not my area of expertise, but it's a matter of some interest I may report back in the future. But as silly as it seems on the surface, that's why things happen now, because we're not perceived as people and having rights. Therefore, there are no consequences, or no perceived consequences. Once we change that and get the system back to what it should be, we are all going to be better off. Thank you for listening. Remember to like my video, tell your friends, and subscribe. Thank you.